If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm back and it is January 11th and it's Friday and it's 8:29 p.m. Eastern Time, and I have already uploaded a video with the Q post for today, and I did check to make sure that there were no further posts. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get into some Q related news. You know why? Because we can. All right, well, let's go. Now, the first thing is this right here, and as usual, I just go through different news sources and comb through to find anything that I think might be of interest to you guys, or certainly of interest to myself, or things that I think that we should know. Anyway, there's this. It's a couple days old now, but still good. Ocasio-Cortez campaign slapped with a fine for not providing proper workers' compensation. Well, how many of us are surprised? Anyone? Didn't think so. Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a 2018 congressional campaign, was fined by the state of New York for failing to provide the proper workers' compensation coverage to campaign staffers. The employer did not have the required workers' compensation coverage from March 31st, 2018 to April 30th, 2018. Melissa Stewart, the spokeswoman for New York's Workers' Compensation Board, told the New York Daily News it was issued a final penalty of $1,500, which was paid. The coverage is vital to ensuring workers are protected for on-the-job injuries, Stewart continued. So anyway, the self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist has been portraying herself as a champion for workers' rights. During her campaign, she advocated for a $15 an hour minimum wage and a federal jobs guarantee because, according to her website, anyone who is willing and able to work shouldn't struggle to find employment. So, well, that's interesting. She's all for workers, but didn't pay workers' compensation. Anyway, let's continue. And I think I'm going to skip that for tonight and look at this. Saudi monument to Allah erected at the World Trade Center. Now, if this doesn't upset you, I don't know what will. A 9-foot sculpture has risen on the site of the World Trade Center terror attack of 9/11 in New York. It's a Saudi Arabian Kandi monument inscribed with the words, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is the prophet." These are the words used by the 9/11 terrorists who blew up the Twin Towers at that site. Most of the terrorists were Saudis, and the government itself has been implicated at high levels. 15 of the 19 9/11 hijackers were Saudis. 2 were from the United Arab Emirates. 1 was from Lebanon, and the other was from Egypt. A congressional inquiry report refers to evidence of Saudi Arabia's substantial involvement in the execution of the attacks at high levels of government. And here is the monument. Why? A piece of candy saying there's no God but Allah? Who allowed this? Who okayed this? Because it's not okay by me, and I bet you it's not okay to most New Yorkers. I would assume that most would find this offensive. I certainly do. The Saudi monument is one of the statues representing the 20 nations, the G20, that artist Lawrence Jenkel thought appropriate for his Candy of Nations. Candy of Nations. Okay. These people can't think up anything better than that. Apparently not. According to the Observer, the Port Authority of New York also thought it an apt piece to put on this location. Really? Okay. It celebrates Saudi Arabia's place in the G20 summit and was erected last week. I lost people on 9/11 on that spot, and I can't even begin to tell you how I feel about this statue. If ever a statue needed to be taken down, it is this one, and I agree. Okay, if they wanted to put a piece of candy there, which I don't know why they would, but let's say they do, why does it have to say there is no God but Allah when this is supposed to be a Christian nation? It was at one time. Seriously, who approved this at the World Trade Center? I'd like to know that myself. I bet you would too. So, yeah, I don't know who we talked to about this. I don't know. I don't know what say we would have in this, being as, I'm not from New York. I don't know how many of you are from New York, but it irritates me a lot. How about you guys? What do you think about this? Leave it in the comments below. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this. Although I'm pretty sure I already know what your thoughts are on this. Alrighty, let's go back. Let's see what else we can get into here. And here's old Chuckles the Clown. This is a quote from him. People who enter the United States without our permission are illegal aliens, and illegal aliens should not be treated the same as people who entered the U.S. legally. Chuck Schumer in 2009. What changed, Chuckles? What changed? Yeah. The deep state is real far up his hinder parts. I can tell you that much, because nobody, these people said one thing, back a number of years, saying something completely different now. Anyway, that's par for the course. Now, look at this. This is odd. Well, not so odd, but it's odd that it's coming to light now, if we can believe it. Breaking. Pedophile reportedly confesses to killing 6-year-old beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey in 1996. Wow. On Thursday, the Daily Mail reported that a man who had been suspect in the murder of 6-year-old beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey in 1996 reportedly admitted he killed her. The crime has been solved for 22 years. Daily Mail TV obtained letters written by Gary Oliva, who is now 54, to a former high school classmate, music publicist Michael Vale. Investigators have conjectured that Oliva joined other men in breaking into JonBenet Ramsey's house. A ransom note demanding $118,000 for the girl was found on the kitchen staircase before her body was found. The tiny girl was found with a broken skull from a blow to the head and had been strangled. A garrote was tied around her neck. In 2003, trace DNA that was taken from the child's clothes showed it came from an unknown male, prompting the DA to send the Ramseys a letter of apology in 2008, declaring the family completely cleared. This is interesting, and I'm not sure if I believe it, but let's read on here. Oliva, a convicted pedophile who is currently serving a 10-year sentence in a Colorado prison for having child pornography on his phone, allegedly stated in a letter to Vale, "I never loved anyone like I did JonBenet, and yet I let her slip and her head bashed in half, and I watched her die. It was an accident. Please believe me. She was not like the other kids," he wrote in another letter. "JonBenet completely changed me and removed all evil from me. Just one look at her beautiful face, her glowing beautiful skin, and her divine God body. I realized I was wrong to kill other kids, yet by accident she died, and it was my fault." Now, if you think that sounds believable, I've got some land I want to sell you. Doesn't sound believable at all to me. She did have a skull injury, but she was strangled. And, he just says, I watched her die because, she hit her head. No. Doesn't mention anything about, cutting off her air. I mean, this is horrendous, but I think honestly, this person is fantasizing, and I don't believe that this is reality. That's just me. Vale 55 told Daily Mail TV, my suspicions began when Gary called me late at night on December 26, 1996. He was sobbing and said, I heard a little girl. I had known Gary from my time at high school and we kept in touch. When he said he had hurt a little girl, I tried to get more information out of him. The only other thing he told me was that he was in Boulder, Colorado area. On December 27th, I read on the front page of my local newspaper, Girl 6 slain in Boulder, Colorado. I knew I had to alert the police. I immediately called the Boulder Police Department and told them what I knew about Gary and what he had told me just days earlier. They didn't get back to me. 3 months later, I called the police again to find out what was going on in its investigation of Gary, but instead I was sent to a police answering machine set up for tips on JonBenet. On the JonBenet case, I left a message on the recorded line, and again, I never heard back from the investigators. He continues, I've continued this for decades now, even with him being in prison, but he has only just admitted to killing her. He believes he will go to hell if he doesn't admit to it. I have now sent these letters to Boulder Police in the hope it will get Gary to provide them with firm proof and to name who else may have been involved in JonBenet's death. I hope it helps bring justice for JonBenet and peace for her family. Now they have this, a written confession. The police need to charge him with her murder. The thought that he could be released on probation next year chills me to the bone because he'd never be allowed out. He should never be allowed out. He is a danger to society. The day he walks free is the day I will be terrified for every child and family. Now, I don't know. I mean, I worked for the police way back. And to me, you know, I know people think, oh, come on, who would confess to a crime that they didn't do? A lot of people. It happens all the time. Really. I don't know. There are crazy people out there that do it. And I just do not believe this. I don't. Because I think if the police, you know, thought that they had a chance to wrap up a crime, that they would be all over this, like white on rice. I really do. So I don't know. I don't believe it. And perhaps that's because I was once given some intel about the JonBenet, and maybe it doesn't fit in with that. So maybe this is my issue. I don't know. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think. I would really like to know, because I'm looking at this kind of bias already, and that's unfair. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's possible that this could be solved, that this person is telling the truth? It's possible. Anything's possible. But let's go on. Because I doubt we're going to solve a murder tonight. All right, now let's look at this. This is more Q related and very interesting. Remember Ed Buck? Now, there's been 2 black men die at his home. And apparently there was a third one that he injected that lived. So that is what this is about. Exclusive. I thought I was going to be the next to die at Ed Buck's house. Man tells Daily Mail TV how Democratic donor paid him $250 and injected him with meth after fetish sex sessions in white long johns as police probe 2 black men's deaths. Says, warning, sexually explicit content. Close this. Jermaine Gagnon, 28, told Daily Mail TV how he narrowly escaped death when Edward Buck injected him with crystal meth at his sex toy-filled apartment. Gagnon said Buck, 63, paid to fly him from Minnesota to Los Angeles, drugged him with a substance dissolved in Gatorade, then injected him with crystal meth. The 28-year-old shared photos of Buck wearing white long johns crouched over him on a mattress during one of their nights together last year. Gagnon shared images of sex toys Buck had for their encounter, saying he had this red and black toolbox with all types of fetish toys like whatever. He added, he gave me some Tommy Hilfiger tighty whities, a muscle t-shirt, and some long johns, white knee-high socks. Gagnon said during one encounter, Buck offered him a drink he suspected had been spiked. Feeling woozy and weak shortly after drinking it, he said, he took my phone. I was so scared. I felt death walked into my soul. I called my mother. I said, I feel like he's going to kill me. I think I'm going to die. Buck is now under investigation over the deaths of 2 black men, including one man who died of an apparent overdose at his apartment on Monday. I happen to believe this because this person, at the risk of great embarrassment, has come forward with this, and I do happen to believe that he's telling the truth. I think that this guy, Ed Buck, and we know that he is a huge donor to the Democratic Party and is in tight with all sorts of people, including Adam Schiff. So I don't know. I believe that this guy, I believe that there's probably been lots of other men that he's done the same thing to, because it very seldom does somebody just start off killing somebody. He probably started off drugging and raping these men, and it probably just progressed from there. So there probably are men out there that have been drugged and raped by this man, but it's an embarrassment issue. So this guy has come forward, and I'm glad he did, because he may save other young men from being murdered. I don't agree with that lifestyle, but I most certainly don't think that he deserves to be murdered. A man has told how he narrowly escaped death when Hillary Clinton donor Edward Buck injected him with crystal meth at his sex toy-filled apartment, where 2 black men have died within 18 months. Jermaine Gagnon, 28, told Daily Mail TV how Buck, 63, paid to fly him from Minnesota to Los Angeles, drugged him with a substance dissolved in Gatorade, then injected him with crystal meth at his West Hollywood apartment. So really all of this has been, bullet pointed above, so I don't think I really need to read the rest. I guess this is the young man in question. Jermaine Gagnon, 28, pictured, told Daily Mail he narrowly escaped death. And I do believe that. And he does have pictures with Ed Buck standing over him. The 28-year-old shared photos of Buck wearing white long johns crouched over him on a mattress during one of their nights together. And here is the mattress, and he looks like he's looking at his phone. I mean, they're grainy pictures, but they're the kind of pictures that you would expect if someone was trying to snap pictures on their phone and was, trying to avoid looking like they're snapping pictures on their phone. Buck offered him $200 to spend the evening with him at his apartment, Gagnon said. Gagnon said the mirrors were about 7 foot high and appeared to be suspended on ropes so that they tilted toward over the bed. Pictured. Now let's see where that is. Okay, yeah, so he's a little kinky guy. Kinky. And there he is with Hillary. What a sweet couple. I know. Buck, a prominent Democratic donor who gave to Hillary Clinton's campaign, is now under investigation over the deaths of black men in his 50s at his apartment of Monday morning this week, and a second investigation into the death of Jamal Moore 18 months ago. So there you go. I thought that you'd be interested in that. And let's go here. I don't remember what this is, but it must be something good.
I'd say 80% of you.
Yes, I love this. I love this. You gotta listen because the choppers and everything are going. But yeah, he said, I'd say 80% of you are probably in coordination with the opposition party. I mean, he calls it. This guy has cojones of steel, really. I've never seen the likes of it. Like, we talk about how men are being feminized and, the soy boys, and how there is a war on masculinity. Well, there's no war there. Let me tell you, he's a man's man. All right.
I think he said it in 2014. Look, you can all play cute. And I'd say 80% of you are possibly in coordination with the opposition party. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. All you have to do is look at the borders. Rent a helicopter, except you don't want to know the truth, and watch. And by the way, here's the story. There is another major caravan forming right now in Honduras. And so far, we're trying to break it up. But so far, it's bigger than anything we've seen. And a drone isn't going to stop it. And a sensor isn't going to stop it. But you know what's going to stop it in its tracks? A nice, powerful wall.
I love it. He just doesn't play games with them. He was like, you know, you want to see, rent a drone, except you don't want to know the truth. Like, he's just calling it the way it really is with the press. And I like that. And I think the American people like that, because I think we've, you know, been tiptoeing around the elephant in the room too long. And this that's going on right now with CNN, it's so over the top now. You would have to be brain dead not to catch it, really. It is so over the top. Like Jim Costa going out there and saying, well, you know, there's a wall here. I don't see any people trying to get over the, you know, I don't see anybody trying to get in. Yeah, right, because there's a wall there. All right, I'm going back now. And, let's look at this. Okay, so California Border Patrol arrested people from 41 different countries in one sector of the border. Let me stop this for a second. In one day, they arrested 133 people from countries not from Central America. Literally, the countries of the world know the way to get into the U.S. is through the southern border. Yeah. So let's see what he is saying here.
Just yesterday, we apprehended 133 people from countries other than Central America and Mexico. That includes individuals from India, Pakistan, China, Romania, Ecuador, Nicaragua, on and on and on. And so I know we keep talking about the family units and unaccompanied children, and that makes up about typically about 60-70%. We've seen a change over the last couple of weeks where that number is less than 50% of the apprehensions we make here in South Texas. So South Texas continues to lead the country in apprehensions as well as marijuana seizures in between the ports of entry. And so CBP and DHS are committed to both our border security mission as well as our humanitarian mission. Mr. President, senators, we couldn't do it without your support. We really appreciate you coming down here. It means an awful lot to the men and women of DHS, CBP, the Border Patrol, our local law enforcement community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See, the thing is, you know, people make it seem like, oh, these people, they're just wanting a better life. And no, yeah, some of them are. Some of them do want to come over and work and pay taxes and be American and make a better life for themselves and their families. Yes, absolutely. But there are also people coming from other countries in through the southern border because they want to do us harm. These are not dreamers. Well, they're dreaming all right. They're dreaming of hurting and killing Americans. So, yeah, the border wall, I mean, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but the border wall is very, very important. All right, and I love this. This made me laugh so hard, and that's hard to do today because I've been having a rough couple days. And I could use your prayers, any of you guys that are believers. I'll just leave it there, but I could really use your prayers. Anyway, no prisoners escaping here. Clearly, no need for a fence. And here he is at a at a prison that has a fence up, and that's exactly what he did at the border. It's like, no, nobody escaping over these walls. We don't need a wall. Well, yeah, they're not escaping because the wall's there. Yeah, that's the logic, though. This man bothers me because I have to ask myself two questions. Are you that hard up for a job? Or are you that stupid? Because it's one or the other. You either really need that job or you're really stupid. I don't see any middle ground there, but I could be wrong. All right. And let's see. We've got lots of stuff here. Lots of stuff. juicy little tidbits. Democrat Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal blatantly lied tonight on MSNBC by claiming that President Trump wants to eliminate all people of color from America in hopes of bringing forth purity in America. An absolute shameful and desperate lie. Well, let's hear her.
Joining me now, Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington, who's at the southern border last month helping migrants seek asylum and who worked with immigrants and immigrant rights before she came to Congress. Do you think a deal can be made, or do you think this is fundamentally existential and cannot be made?
It is fundamentally existential if he continues to insist on a wall. And, you just said it so beautifully, Chris. This has never been about a wall. He actually could have gotten funding a couple of years ago or a year ago for a wall. It was part of a deal that was proposed. Not all of us agreed with that deal, but it was proposed to him, and he turned it down because his ultimate goal is, as you said, to make America pure in the sense of not having immigrants, not having folks of color here, and shutting down every form of legal immigration, all to throw a bone to those people. And the only thing...
This is reprehensible as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't even make sense. He has never said that he wants to shut down immigration. He has said he wants the people that come into the United States to come in legally. It's the same thing. You don't want your neighbors to just walk in your house, do you? Now, you want them to knock, get to know you, ask if they could come in, and then you might want to know a little bit about them before you just let them into your house. It's the same thing. I don't understand why these people have to twist this. Honestly, it's asinine to believe that, but that is what they're pushing. That is where we are. And it worries me because it seems to me that the left is ramping up their rhetoric. If you ask me, that is what's happening, and that concerns me. It concerns me. But maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it's a sign that they really are scared. They really are. So they're pulling out the stops, and they're saying, you know what? Okay, well, we've used this and this and this in our arsenal, so let's pull out this and this and this. I don't know. But it's absolutely... It boggles my mind. This is on mainstream media, MSNBC, a woman saying, oh yeah, he wants to shut down all immigration. He wants a white America. Well, let me tell you something. If we shut the borders right now and didn't allow another soul in, we will never have a white America, ever. We are already too racially diverse, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Sure, let's have all the colors of the rainbow. If you're there legally, if you call yourself American, if you learn the language, if you love the country, if you love the people, and you're there legally to make it a better place, then wonderful. And I know that is what Donald Trump stands for as well. It's ridiculous to say, oh, he wants to shut down immigration to make America white. America never has been white. When was America ever white? I mean, there were Native Americans here before, and, we've got African Americans, and it's not white. Nobody wants it to be white. I don't know. But I'm glad that I don't have to work with any of these people, because I think that I would have to throat punch them. I'm sorry. I think I would. Anyway, I found this picture, and okay, it's not funny. It isn't funny, so stop laughing. But it's the angel of death standing over Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I don't know. It's not funny. I'm not laughing. You people shouldn't be laughing either. I did find it humorous. Okay, well, I have a little bit of a dark sense of humor. All right, now here's something that we don't need to know, but we're gonna know it. Yeah, seems like Jeff Bezos has been sending pictures of his big Bezos to his mistress or whatever. Well, here are some dirty texts allegedly from Jeff Bezos to Lauren Sanchez. Showing off his big Bezos. That's what he's doing. Yep. Or his little Bezos. I don't know. Please try and keep your morning repast down, as it brings me no pleasure to share this news with you now. There appear to be dirty texts from divorcee bajillionaire Jeff Bezos that only prove that shiny, bald, rich MFers don't really know how to sext. These texts were unearthed by the National Enquirer, so do what you will with that source. Personally, I don't want to believe that these are real, but given the contents of said texts, I think they are. In one message obtained by the Enquirer on newsstands today, Bezos wrote, "I love you alive, girl. I will show you with my body and my lips and my eyes very soon." Didn't turn me on. But it's probably the source, you know. In another Pillow Talk exchange on May 13th, the horn dog billionaire wrote, "I want to smell you. I want to breathe you in. I want to hold you tight. I want to kiss your lips. I love you. I am in love with you." Okay, well, he'll never win an award for writing. The timestamp present on these messages also reportedly indicates that Bezos was creeping around with Lauren Sanchez for some time before the public announcement of his divorce, which, for the record, was only on Wednesday. I don't care about when he started sending these pedestrian and wholly unexciting sexy messages to Lauren Sanchez, but I am concerned that they are so tame and also slightly distressed at how bad they are. "I love you alive, girl," is not a panty dropper, and even less so when it comes from the dead-eyed, shiny-headed man as seen above. Being called an alive girl ranks pretty low on the list of horned-up eroticisms. Somewhere above, "Are you still on your period?" and below, "Should we do this or nah?" Bezos, do better. Ooh, yeah. Okay, "I love you alive, girl." Wow. I mean, of all the things to say to a woman, that's pretty out there. "I love you alive, girl. I love you alive." All right, well, it seems to work for him. Of course, I'm sure it has nothing to do with his bajillions. No, I'm sure that she loves him for who he is. All right. Now, I liked this from our president. "The fake news media keeps saying we haven't built any new wall. Below is a section just completed on the border. Anti-climbing feature included. Very high, strong, and beautiful. Also, many miles already renovated and in service." And this is a 30-foot bollard wall constructed and installed. Yeah. Well, they are really, really ramping up the rhetoric on the wall big time. Big time. So, yeah, and then there's this. Let's look at this too, along the same line. NBC News reports Trump wall was demolished by common tools. Wrong. NBC Fox News published a story claiming that the steel slat fence being touted by President Trump can be cut with common tools as a household saw. Okay, I mean, anybody with a brain knows better than that. The news outlet posted an exclusive photo which they say shows the results of the test after military and border patrol personnel were told to destroy it with standard tools. The left has gone wild, trashing the president and his barrier. They believe it's more proof walls don't work. NBC used it as an opportunity to insult Trump. Experts shed some light. Jim Hansen, president, Security Studies Group, asked if they were serious. They weren't common tools. And here's the tweet by him. He says, "Are you serious? Are you people serious? These tests were conducted by the military, and in similar situations, we breached wood, steel, and concrete barriers. But I kind of doubt migrants will be carrying chop saws or C4, or that border patrol will just sit by while they do this. Get real." So you can see, you can use your common everyday blowtorch or C4 to get through the wall, assuming won't notice anything can be breached. But as the article states, that wall is meant to slow them down or impede. The California Border Patrol responded. In response to KPBS, CBP spokesman Ralph DeCio said the prototypes were not and cannot be designed to be indestructible, but were designed to impede or deny efforts to scale, breach, or dig under such a barrier, giving agents time to respond. It's not even the same wall. As it turns out, it's a different wall from the one in the photos, while NBC reports that they bury it in its suggestions that common tools will destroy it so quickly that it will have no value. The Department of Homeland Security was quoted stating the new design is not the one in the photos. While the design currently being constructed was informed by what we learned in the prototypes, it does not replicate those designs, said Waldman. The steel bollard design is internally reinforced with materials that require time and multiple industrial tools to breach, thereby providing U.S. Border Patrol agents additional response time to effect a successful law enforcement resolution. In the event that one of the steel bollards become damaged, it is quick and cost-effective to repair. Multiple industrial tools will be needed. So much for the groundbreaking story from NBC. But what do we have lately from any of the mainstream media? Where did that come from? Media. Gosh, my mind's way back there with Jeff Bezos. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get out of your mind. Really, it is. But I'm really going to. Okay, and there's one more thing that I wanted to show. Well, there's lots of things I want to show you, but time. It's all about time. You don't have all night to sit here. But I am kind of wondering why this isn't in the news. And I guess we'll probably come to find out pretty quickly. Did you know that there was an active shooter at an Alabama nightclub? No, I bet you didn't. That's because the news ignored it. And why did they ignore it? Because the female security guard put the active shooter down. Now, he is still alive, but she took care of business. She was the only person armed there, and she took him down. In what could have been a tragic reenactment of the massacre that took place at an Orlando nightclub in 2016, a security guard in Huntsville, Alabama, shot and subdued a would-be killer before he could injure anyone at a local nightclub. As he tried to go towards the door, that's where I had to go ahead and put him down, the guard, who gave her name as Latoya, told local media. Latoya explained that the suspect, 33-year-old Samuel DeMario Williams, had been involved in an argument in the club and security personnel had escorted him outside. That's when he grabbed an AK-47 from his car and began firing. He started to make moves toward the door. He was still firing off shots, Latoya said. I decided that I had to make a choice to go ahead and stop him from entering the club. I was behind a vehicle, basically just maneuvered around the vehicle as he maneuvered around the other side of it to make sure I was properly concealed and covered, she added. The guard shot Williams at least once in the leg and then helped treat his wounds. Now, really, this girl should be all over the news. Literally. She should be all over the news. Now, why isn't she? Because how many lives did she potentially save? I can assure you, she probably saved at least a few lives. And then she had the wherewithal to, she didn't shoot him like a million times. She shot him in the leg, she downed him, then she went and treated his wounds. That's incredible, really. Now, that should be mainstream news, because maybe it was a thwarted false flag, or maybe it was a real situation, but she handled it like a boss. Now, she would make any police department in the whole country proud. And I hope that she gets if she wants to work for the police, I hope she gets a job. A lot of people in security do want to eventually work for the police. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm extremely impressed with this, very impressed with this. And I'm outraged that it isn't in the news. Seriously. I mean, I hope that the people in that club recognize what she did for them. I really do. I hope her bosses recognize what she did. So anyway, I thought I would bring you that, and I think I'm going to wrap it up there for tonight. I do have plenty of other stuff, but that is the main stuff I wanted to touch on. I'm going to keep, you know, a lookout for Q posts, and if so, I will bring those to you later. If he does continue to post tonight, if not, I will bring you Q-related news tomorrow, and maybe Q posts as well. Who knows? I hope he does. I hope he posts more. Anyway, you guys have a great Friday evening. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, and check back again. I'll be here. I hope you will be too. Where am I? There I am. I'm leaving now. Bye-bye.